Okay, good afternoon ladies and gentlemen. Most of you will know us, but for those of you that don't, my name's Dean.
I'm Robbie, and we are the best men that Phil selected. You might be asking yourself, why does it take two of us to describe the groom? Well, as the man in the suit shop said, there's a lot to fit in.
We were asked to be best men one Wednesday evening after work at the Surrey pub. It may came as a bit of a shock, but upon reflection, the job entails arranging things, and if you've met Phil's brothers, you will understand the choice.
On a serious note, we're both very proud to have been selected best men. Of the friends that Phil has, when accepting our duty, we both knew that if we had any doubts, he would have thrown in that "I'll never talk to you again" quote, which has been used on numerous occasions over the years.
On behalf of myself, Robbie and the bridesmaids, we would like to thank Phil and Carlotta for asking us to be involved in this special day.
We'd also like to thank the ushers for turning up.
Still me. I'll let you know when shortly. As you will see, they've put a tremendous amount of effort into planning of this wedding, and by they, obviously we mean Carlotta, as the only thing that Phil has thought about is whether the football will be on at 8 p.m.
The bridesmaids, you've done a fantastic job so far. You all look lovely today.
We have had to remind...
Pete, AD.
Lost.
He made these as well.
That'll be a brief intermission.
Yeah, we're going to have to step up for a sec, I think. 3, 4, 5. I'm lost now. 5. 5, right, okay. I've missed 4.
Dinner's getting cold.
3! That's why you've missed 3. I said it too early. Oh, go on, do 3. Do 3, do 3.
No, I'd like to thank Pete and Adi for turning up. Done a great job so far. Not.
We have had to remind them of the date every week for the past 6 months, so it was hit and miss whether they would remember to turn up.
We also can't believe how everything looks fantastic. Tables, flowers, lovely.
Carlotta, you look absolutely stunning, and your dress is perfect.
If Phil had his way, he probably would have turned up in a pair of tracksuit bottoms and an Ipswich top. Just one of the positive effects that Lottie's had on him. It's changed him.
Nobody ever seems to pay the groom a compliment, but I think you'll all agree that Phil is also looking pretty average.
Between the both of us, we've probably known Phil a combination of about 40 years. That could all change within the next 5 minutes.
Somehow, after all this time, we are still friends.
I first met Phil as a 4-year-old, probably at play school, as our friendship blossomed, we went to Cubs together and started playing football. I used to turn up as an 8-9-year-old with my Sainsbury's carrier bag, gloves, boots in the bag. Phil used to turn up in his Umbro boot bag, Umbro boots and Umbro jumper. Phil would also think he'd probably sponsored by Umbro at the time. We've been friends ever since. Unfortunately, I haven't been able to shake him off.
I first met Phil playing football for Woking Youth Team at the tender age of 15. The first pre-season training session me and Phil took part in, we were told to run around the field for an undisclosed number of miles. Yes, miles, not metres. We both grumbled at this and agreed to stay together at the back of the pack for the entire session, no matter how much we got shouted at by the manager. By the end of the session, I knew that we'd be good friends, especially once we made the obligatory after-training trip to McDonald's on the way home.
Phil, you've been the most honest of people I've known. He would have quite frankly asked me to go and play football for him on a Sunday morning, setting me up as a target man. For people who don't know that, it's simply to hold the ball up.
Or to hit you.
This would never be the case, as he'll always end up moaning at me for not running the channels. You've seen the size of Mike running the channels. Apart from also after, the only thing I probably would run for is an ice cream van.
Phil and I have quite frequently visited the public houses of Woking on a Saturday night, and one such night in our late teens, Phil made the decision to save money and suggested we could walk home to West End. This wouldn't have been too bad, however, our few-mile walk turned into about 8 miles because Phil couldn't even remember the way home without his mum driving him, and we ended up going through Chobham in the pitch black. Every now and then Phil would hear a noise from the woods and decide we were in danger, and we had to run. Obviously, with Phil's track record of running, that didn't last very long either.
We won't dwell on the stag do too much. As you all know, what happens on tour stays on tour until it ends up on Facebook. However, the video has not yet been seen by the masses. If you want to come and see it, ask me later. You've got a picture of Phil dressed up as a sailor, comatose, and then wakes up singing kung fu fighting. Everybody was and then started to try to fight the locals of Budapest. If you want to see the video, please come and see me later.
Carlotta, a fact that you've already discovered is that Phil was a bit of a kid at heart. This was very much apparent one drunken Saturday night at Hartney's flat when Phil decided to start a wrestling match between the 6 of us. Suddenly, out of nowhere, Phil turned into Hulk Hogan, started spouting out terms like, "We're going to get beat down," and "Here comes the people's elbow." We still don't know what any of these terms mean, but that's Phil.
Even after all these stories have been taken into account, we are sure that Phil and Lottie will make a fantastic couple together. He has told us that in confidence.
But one last fact about Phil is that he can be a little bit scatterbrained. Literally only last week, while Carlotta was away on her hen do, Phil decided to leave the house with only his car keys to go get a paper from down the shop, in his PJs, by the way. Didn't think to bring the house keys he had only just unlocked the door with. This brought back memories of a phone call I received a few years back when Phil had spent 3 hours trying to get into his Fiesta after locking the keys inside with the engine running to de-ice it. Needless to say, the ice was gone once we'd helped him get into the car, along with most of the petrol. But it is clear to see that you two are a perfect couple and complement each other in an impeccable way.
So one week we were talking about the engagement, so you have to picture Phil turning up on my doorstep in his dirty pair of tracksuit bottoms and a t-shirt. Proceeded to ask me advice on engagement and rings. I've never been engaged. Then my mum decides to jump in and help out. Sits him down and puts QVC on, Gems TV, asking if she wants clusters or a single diamond, and about a 30-minute crash course lesson. We pitched into town, went to the jewellers. They asked what's your budget. He said what his budget was, but he said I don't want to spend all of it.
That took 4 years for Phil to finally decide that it was time to take the plunge with girlfriend number 3. They do say it's the magic number. The proposal, by the way, was executed on Brighton Beach at the Crazy Golf. Relatively romantic, especially as it was right next to the nudist beach.
Just remains for us to say what an honour it is and a privilege it has been today, standing here as Phil's best men. I see Carlotta and Phil walk down the aisle together.
And we wish you two of our closest friends a long and happy life together.
It now gives us immense pleasure, not to mention relief, to invite you all to stand and raise your glasses in a toast.
To the new Mr. and Mrs. Ruggles. Cheers.
Cheers.
Well, boys.